going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chad Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we have a loaded show for you guys today, as it is looking like the Vikings may be interested in trading for Adam Thielen or signing him if he is cut by the Carolina Panthers. And then Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah talked to the media early on today before training camp gets fully underway this week. Talked about Khyree Jackson, Jordan Addison, and the quarterback battle, so stay tuned for that. But before we dive into that, guys, training camp is here, and I couldn't be more excited. Finally, some real football to talk about here on the channel. So everybody watching today's show, make sure you guys are subscribed. Don't miss out on a single thing. We'll keep you guys posted with each and every practice, with takeaways, highlights, the whole nine. So hit that subscribe button, lock us in as your go-to Vikings YouTube channel, as training camp is finally here. But let's talk about the Adam Thielen front. So Ben Gesseling was on K-Fan the other day. He works with the Star Tribune, very tapped in with the Minnesota Vikings front office. And he said this. He said, Adam Thielen is still under contract in Carolina, but he's been working out with J.J. McCarthy. And if he ends up getting cut in Carolina, I guess I wouldn't be stunned by that. I mean, it certainly would make some sense for him to come back. And I think the Vikings would have some interest if that were to come up. I think the relationship is such that maybe if that would come up, that could be an option for him at some point. And listen, if you guys have been on social media lately and been amongst, other Vikings Twitter members, like, you have seen the viral clips of J.J. McCarthy and Adam Thielen working out. And then Thielen said this after workout, saying he's got all the tools, that's for sure. He can swing it. He's super accurate. And, I just think it's pretty cool that obviously, Thielen still being in Minneapolis area, he's going to be working out with some of the younger guys on this Vikings team, and J.J. McCarthy was the latest example of that. And with how the Vikings wide receiver room is shaking out, I'm not saying there's a dire need to bring in another wide receiver, because if the Addison thing kind of gets, floated over a little bit where, let's just say he's only suspended for a game or two, I don't necessarily think receiver is a huge need. But definitely at that wide receiver 3 spot. Like, it's going to be either between Powell, Sherfield, or Naylor battling it out during training camp. But if you would bring in a guy like Adam Thielen, who last season had over 1,000 yards, that would be a great option at wide receiver 3. And listen, Thielen, on his tail half of his career with Minnesota, he was a great red zone threat. Hence why in 2020 he had 14 touchdowns, 21 he had 10, 22 he had 6. And then this past season, shockingly enough, he was over 100 receptions and over 1,000 yards on a terrible Carolina Panthers football team. But why Adam Thielen? You maybe ask yourself that. Like, yes, it sounds good. It'd be sweet to bring back, the hometown kid, Vikings legend, but why does it make football sense? Well, if Jordan Addison misses time, due to suspension or whatever it may be, he would be a great wide receiver 2 next to Justin Jefferson. And let's just say Addison doesn't miss time, I think Thielen could flourish as a wide receiver 3. If you legitimately, let's just say you were playing, November, December, January football, and the Vikings, it's a 3rd and 6, big time 3rd down, and it's JJ or Sam Darnold, whoever it may be in at quarterback, and you're in, let's just say, 31 package, and you got Aaron Jones as the running back, your 3 wide receivers are Jefferson, Addison, and Thielen, and TJ Hawkinson as the tight end. That's one of the best receiving corps you could have in the National Football League. And also the one thing about this Vikings receiving room, which they don't necessarily have, is an elite red zone threat. Adam Thielen is that. I would bring him back, no doubt about it. But also, he's familiar with the system. He's been, with Kevin O'Connell before, obviously. And, I think he would flourish as, just another year in this system. And I would be thrilled to bring him back. And, he's also just familiar with, being in the state of Minnesota. And that's why it's also this, like, the hometown motivation. Like, I think if you ask Thielen, like, if you could accomplish anything for the remainder of your NFL career, it would probably be winning a Super Bowl, but more specifically, winning a Super Bowl for the Minnesota Vikings, the team that he grew up loving. I think that would be, top of the list of what Thielen wants to accomplish. And also, should have probably mentioned this. I should have made this 5 reasons instead of 4. What about the locker room? Like, with all that's going on, with the Khyree Jackson situation, with the Jordan Addison situation, like, the Vikings just need a good veteran voice in that locker room. Thielen can offer that. So, what if the Vikings want to trade for Thielen? Well, I don't think it would take a lot. I think the Panthers would love to move off that contract they signed him. So, what if the Vikings just have to send him a 2026 6th-round pick for the likes of receiver Adam Thielen? You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Would you accept this trade? Give me an A for accept or a D for decline down below. Curious to see what you guys have to say. Or, hey, if you're a Panthers fan coming across today's show, let me know if you guys would accept this or not. But let's just say Thielen is cut. I think you have to sign him ASAP. The Vikings still have $26 million left in cap space this upcoming year. Why not use it? Give Thielen a 1-2 year deal of, let's just say, $14 million, whatever it ends up shaking out to be. I think it would be a great option at wide receiver 3 for all the reasons we talked about, plus the locker room aspect of it. I think it would be fantastic bringing Thielen back home to Minnesota. But coming up next on today's program, I do want to talk about Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's press conference that they held before training camp. Talked about Khyree, talked about Jordan Addison, and talked about the quarterback competition. But before we dive into that, guys, I got to tell you guys about my favorite ticket purchasing app out there, and that is Game Time. And if you guys use that promo code ChatSports, we will get you guys $20 off your first purchase. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Now, Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down closer as it gets to the first pitch. And with the Minnesota Twins making their postseason run right now, there is no better time to go watch some Twins baseball. And with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. But it's not just for sporting events. They also have concerts, comedy shows, theater shows, all that and more. Any event that requires buying a ticket, use the app Game Time. And if you guys use promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, on your first purchase, we will hook you guys up with $20 off. Now pick out any specific games or matchups that you would love to attend, and then download the Game Time app and find the tickets for that matchup or that game, and you guys will get the best ticket purchasing app experience out there. And when you guys are buying tickets to the Twins, trust me, it is super easy and fast, and it takes the stress out of buying tickets. I was going to the Rangers game down here in Dallas, Texas the other day. It was super simple. I was being a procrastinator like I usually am. Waited up until the last minute, got a sweet seat, got a sweet deal on it, and it is all credit to Game Time. So download the Game Time app, use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Terms apply. First purchase only. I'll put that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's show. All right, let's talk about what KOC and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah had to talk about at their press conference before training camp today. It was very interesting. Broke down a lot around the Minnesota Vikings, and it was just awesome stuff overall from this Vikings organization. And speaking about awesome stuff, they were asked about Khyree Jackson and how this organization is going to handle it, and they had a lot to say. But the biggest takeaway I had was the Vikings will honor the life of Khyree Jackson at a certain point this season. I'm assuming this will probably be for a big-time game at US Bank Stadium. They will show the respect that him and his family deserve. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But Alec Lewis, great Twitter account to follow if you guys want the latest around the Minnesota Vikings. Does a fantastic job for The Athletic covering our football team. But he said a note from the Vikings. The team will pay out the remainder of Kyree's signing bonus to his estate, and the team will wear helmets, decals with the initials of KJ for the entire season, and coaches and staff will wear pins with the same design. So keep your eyes out on that. That is awesome. Love seeing the Vikings, handle this, the way that they should. But also, the Vikings will cover a significant portion of the expenses for Khyree Jackson's funeral per the team. It's scheduled for this Friday. Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, Flores, Matt Daniels, and Durante Jones will be among the contingent attending. So that was good stuff from Kevin Seifert right there. Another great follow. Covers the Vikes for ESPN. But Seifert also said this, that the Vikings will be paying Jackson's signing bonus of $827,000 to his estate. The team says it's our understanding that the NFLPA will support his estate as well. So that is good news. And, another takeaway I had was just the fact that KOC and Kwesi, they were just raving about Vikings ownership. And, they were raving about how they've handled this situation. And, they talk about specifically is that it wasn't, their main focus was on what is the right thing to do here. It wasn't about anything else. It was just handling this the best way we could, and I think it was awesome. And just everything we've heard about it, like, truly, like, we have a bunch of great people and are just a bunch of great human beings running this Vikings organization. So it's just great to hear. But they also talked about Jordan Addison here. And, KOC didn't really have any big-time quote on it, but kind of to sum up, he said time will come in terms of discipline, but he is excited to have him back in the building, which is great news there. And they don't really seem too concerned moving forward about Addison. I'm not sure who asked it, but they said, with the incident last year, with him, having the reckless driving incident, and then also obviously what happened recently, are you concerned about his future? They really didn't have any concern. They talked about the leadership in this locker room, as that's a big reason why they aren't concerned. So that's good news there. But they also had some injury news. TJ Hockenson will start on the PUP list this year, which isn't ruling him out for Game 7 of this season. So that is good news. They also said he's ahead of schedule during his rehab process. But also, more injury news on Andrew Van Ginkel, saying he will be ready and be ready to compete during training camp, which is great news there. Obviously, with this edge department, you still got Turner, you still got Jonathan Grenard, but having that extra fold of Van Ginkel, one of the most versatile weapons in the National Football League, at the disposal of Brian Flores, it's going to be great there. But everybody wanted to know, the quarterback battle, what's going on there? KOC said nothing is set, but he wants a competitive situation during Vikings training camp. Now, he didn't fully come out and say Sam Darnold is quarterback one, but he will be taking majority of quarterback one reps. And, my take originally was that I don't think there's a chance Sam Darnold ends up playing week one, or JJ ends up playing week one. I think if JJ has a good training camp, it's more likely than not that he will actually end up being the starter against the New York Giants in MetLife Stadium. But he also did mention that, this isn't necessarily a competition for JJ per se, but this is a developmental plan for McCarthy. So it's going to come down to him specifically on that timeline, if he is ready, and then if he is obviously once ready, he will be thrown in there as quarterback one. It's not necessarily a competition like who is better. It's just how will JJ progress during his developmental plan that the Vikings have set up for him. But overall takeaway, it was a lot of coach talk. I was kind of hoping they had more nuggets on, maybe the wide receiver 3 spot, the left guard spot, but those will be played out during training camp. So there's no real glaring takeaway here. Just number one, I love the way they've handled this Khyree situation. And also I love how they've, so far have handled, the Jordan Addison situation. But speaking about the Vikings brass and their front office, do you guys trust the Vikings brass? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comment section. Be honest with me. Curious to see what you guys have to say. And also, give me a follow on Twitter. I'll be tweeting out the latest around your Minnesota Vikings all season long. So give me a follow over there. Appreciate the support on the channel as of late. But we'll see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.